Salam, Better Israel, Lemba Better Israel, Dakika Lemba Better Israel. I'll distinguish Her Majesty, the Queen Mother of this kingdom, Her Majesty Queen Bukeka Ono Naya Esrael, members of the Royal Executive Body and the Council in the Royal Supreme Court in Southern Johannesburg, South Africa, and the Royal Courts in Santiago de Chile in South America. It's a great pleasure to greet you all in Salam in the kingdom of Lemba Better Israel, in all the four corners of the earth that are listening to this video, and these greetings from the Royal Courts of Lemba Better Israel in Santiago, Chile, South America. I am Binyam Selamun of Better Israel, of Lemba Better Israel people. And it is important that I speak to you today to give you assurance of where we stand in the kingdom, the purpose of the revival and the re-establishment of the kingdom, that we are people with custom and tradition and culture, that we are a kingdom, we are not a continent, we are not a republic, we are not a state, we are a kingdom because that is in existence within our own social structures as a people. And so some of you could have probably come across my messages where I have posted on Facebook and social media in general, and in Twitter, everywhere in social media and the internet, explaining what kingdoms are and that they are not republics. They are not continents. The kingdoms have a people and a history and a custom and a tradition and a culture and a language. So then if we speak about kingdoms, that's what our real identity is. And in Better Israel, I've come up again to emphasize that we're one of the kingdoms that will be found in the so-called African continent. And the history of the Lemba people is well known throughout the world and has been associated with the Jewish history and the Jewish culture, which is not exactly so, but we will try to bring back the story to its proper narrative and to bring the truth to light, so that everyone will come to understand the truth of who is Lemba Better Israel and what do the kingdoms mean in the so-called African continent. So our kingdom has been on, and the throne and the leadership of this kingdom is inherent. As you know, that our homeland as Lemba people had been the city of Sana'a in Yemen, our original homeland. Was Yemen. That's where our patriarchs lived. Yes, the most memorable of all our patriarchs being the patriarch Saba himself. I know that many of you would like to talk about King Solomon and the Queen of Saba just in passing and say, yes, we are children of King Solomon and the Queen of Saba. But the question is, who is Saba? Why is it so important to talk about Solomon and not talk about Saba, that the people call the Queen of Sheba? That is not Sheba, it's Saba. That is the correct name. And so we are the descendants of Saba, the patriarch from Yemen. So you will realize that in our history as a people, we have come out of the homeland that is now called Yemen, and that was literally in the beginning called the promised land of Asir, which was some part of it was part of the southwest lands of the present day Saudi Arabia. And there is even a hill and also a suburb of the city of Sana'a in Yemen today that is called Hasaba. That's what the Ethiopians say Habesha, and that's what the Greeks turned that into Abyssinia. There is a Greek word. So our people as Lemba Beta Israel have their origin back to the patriarch Saba in Yemen. This is where the origin of the people is. It is not Canaan. Canaan is not the origin of the Lemba people. The people of Lemba or Beta Israel origin had gone to Canaan only under the influence and the joining of forces with the Jews who were Turkic Mongolian people. Yes, they joined them to occupy the cities of what is called now, what used to be called Palestine, and what became known as the land of Canaan. But that was not the homeland of the Lemba people. The Lemba people's homeland is Yemen, is Asir, which is part of Saudi Arabia. The mountain that Moses was standing on was in Asir, the mountains of Hasaba. And when he went up that mountain in that land, he could see the pastures below of the promised land that they were going to go and occupy these pastures in this fertile crescent land for their flock and for their lives. An enrichment of life, full of life. The lush of the promised land of Asir. And Moses died thereafter, and they changed the system, and they did not take care of the instructions of the Most High God. Amlak Lakulumanfas, that is his name. Wari, who sent a star to lead our people from Sena 1 up to Sena 3 in Sofala in Mozambique, the city of Sena. Now, this kingdom still lives on because it's a heritage. There is a heritage, there is a past, there is a history of a people, there is a culture, and there is a language. The language is Ge'ez language. This is the language of the Lemba Beta Israel. I'm saying Lemba Beta Israel because those ones who carry the name Beta Israel in Ethiopia are actually the Lemba people with their homeland in Yemen. So they could be a synonymous name. It could be given to all the groups that came from Yemen, or that came out of Yemen, the homeland of the Yemeni Israelite. That's what you can say if you want. In another way, if you like, you can say these are the descendants of the Yemeni Israelites, since Yemen was the homeland of the original Israelites. They used to come to Abyssinia, which was like an annexation of the kingdoms of the Sabian people and the Sabian Empire. So coming to Abyssinia was not a visit of strangers, but it was a continuous and a spontaneous journey via the Strait of Bab el-Mandab, which the Lembers say in their tradition, we crossed Pusela. So when they say we crossed Pusela, they mean they crossed the sea, the Red Sea. Pusela is the sea. It is not Masila. It's not the Masila watercourse in Yemen. No, it's not. It's not Masila River. They crossed the sea. That's what they mean by Pusela. We crossed Pusela and we got to Abyssinia, to Hassaba, an annexation or part of the annexation of the Serbian Empire expansions. It has nothing to do with Africa. It's not coming from Arabia to go to Africa. It doesn't exist, that thing called Africa. It doesn't exist. Yeah, it's an Italian word given to some people as a nickname. It is not the identity of anyone called Africa in the continent of Africa. We don't have continents in the culture of any of the kingdoms that are found in that so-called African continent. So how can the people from there be called African when they're not from Italy? You see, Africa is an Italian word, had nothing to do with the people that are called Africa today. So the word Africa is a misnomer and it's not correct. The people's identity is with their kingdoms. That's what their identity is. Yeah, but colonization has turned these things upside down. Now the real nations are called tribes, and the republic is called a nation. A republic is not a nation. The tribes are the nation. They have a language. They have a type of dress. They have certain customs. They have a certain tradition. They have a past. They have ancestry. The kingdom, the republic of this, the republic of that, the republic of that, does not have the things that I've just said, the essential things I just mentioned right now. Yes, and those kingdoms that are found in what is called the continent of Africa today are now called republics of the continent. Republic of Ghana, Republic of South Africa, Republic of Tanzania, Republic of this. What is that? It has no meaning in that. We are from the continent of Africa. Continent, there is no culture in any of the kingdoms that ever says that a certain portion of land is called a continent. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's an artificial thing. It's a fabrication. Yes, it's a forgery. The continent is a forgery. We don't have continents in our culture. And the word Africa is not even a word in one of our languages in all the kingdoms that reside in that so-called continent of Africa. So Lemba Beta Israel is no exception. We are a kingdom and we have a dynasty, we have a culture, we have an ancestry, we have our own concept of the Supreme Being. Who is the Supreme Being? Who is the God? Yes, our God is not the God of the religions that you find around the world today. Our God comes through our ancestry and ancestral spirits, and the Supreme God has a hierarchy, the concept. Yes, here is the Supreme God, here is a supernatural spirit, here is the ancestry. It goes by rank. Yes. And so the people were thinking that this is the worship of many gods, that they're trying to be monotheistic. We are monotheistic because we have only one Supreme Being. The rest of the people are ancestors. The rest of the entities could be ancestors, could be ancestral spirits. But you do not get to the Supreme Being without going through these orders that I've just mentioned. But when religion came, it destroyed all the structures, and our people were taken away by the charisma of religion, and they have lost their way. So I wanted to just make it clear to everyone that Lemba Beta Israel Kingdom is one of those kingdoms that has a history and comes from the homeland of Yemen. The last time they went out of Yemen, they were under the leadership of King Hamisi. King Hamisi led the Lembas out of Yemen. Yes. Via the Strait of Bab el-Mandab. Yes. They crossed the sea. We crossed the Pusella, they said. We crossed the sea and came to the land of Abyssinia. In the land of Abyssinia, which is Hassaba, the original word Hassaba, the lineage of Saba, they split inland Abyssinia, Hassaba. And some settled on the hills between what we call Kenya and Tanzania today. Settling on the hill is part of the custom also of Lemba people, to settle on a hill. It's a strategic settlement. Yes. Mwari sent a star. The Almighty God sent a star to lead the people from the homeland in Yemen to what we call the East African coast. That doesn't make any sense. To the land of Hassaba. East Africa. Who is that? I don't know him. Yes. And then they went along the coast until they reached the province of Sofala, which is called now Mozambique. The word Mozambique does not make sense also to me. Yes. They were the Basena people. Their ancestor was called Baramena. Baramena, Amun, Amina, Memani, Maimani, which is an affirmation. When you say a statement, you say, yes, truly, truly, this is so. True, truly, Amun, Amen, Amina. This is the identity of Lemba Beta Israel. So everyone has come to know the truth of who we are. How does one become king or queen or prince or princess of Beta Israel? They have to be born in the royal family. They are not elected. This is not politics. This is not democracy. This is not socialism. We are people with a culture. Okay. We are not politicians. We're not capitalists. We're not these things. These things are strange to us. We have kingdoms. One has to be born in a royal family to become a king. Yes. It is inherited from father to son, father to son. It is not a vote. No. All those things are strange to us. It's not our culture. Yes. Our God is not a God of imagination, that you imagine him in any form and he appears. No, our God is a manifestation God. He has special shrines where there are consultations with this God. You know, he's physical. You take someone to the shrine and that person is sick, and then you consult at the shrine, the holiest shrine of this God, and heals the sick person that you present there. Yeah. You don't close your eyes and say, I imagine God being here with me and taking care of me. We don't do imaginations here. We do not believe, we don't establish belief systems. Don't do that. It's foreign to us. I believe, you believe. What is the value of this belief? I believe, so what? Whether you believe or you do not believe, our God does great things. It is not depending on your thinking and your imagination, as the religions do. Now that I imagine things in a good way, things will happen to me. Now that my believing is this, God will do this for me. We don't do that. It's not our culture. It's the missionaries' foreign things to us. We don't have a belief system. We don't have continents. We don't have general elections. We don't have republic of, the state of, this country, that country. We don't have those things. We have kingdoms. Which dynasty is this? What ancestor is this? What language is this? What type of clothing is this? What means of production do these people have? You see, it has nothing to do with what other nations from outside have been telling us. Close your eyes and imagine God in any form. No, we don't do that. We don't do things like that. It's foreign to us. So Lemba Beta Israel is no exception. Our God is very physical and very realistic. We go and consult him at the shrine and we hear a voice speaking to us. We don't say, I believe he said this to me. No, I heard him say that to me. The message he gave me was this. So I know. I don't just believe. No. I don't imagine him speaking to me. No. I listen to him speak to me. The manifestations are there. I see with my eyes. So the whole principle is to see and hear. Too. If you don't see and you don't hear, you don't know. That's what it means. The Christians say we walk by faith, we don't walk by sight. Well, wait a minute. We walk by sight because we want to know where we're going. If we don't see, we get lost. So we are not like Christians. Maybe Christians are interested in getting lost because they don't have to see. We have to see where we're going. You know? Okay? So, Lemba Beta Israel have to see the greatness of their God. Lemba Beta Israel have to hear the great things of their God. And when they have seen and when they have heard, then they know. Thank you very much. So, Lemba Beta Israel Kingdom has come back to life and is coming to practice the traditions as they were in the times of old. We're going to revive that. We're bringing that back in this so-called modern world, in this most unusual and awkward condition of coronavirus and troubles and nations rising and conflicts and wars and rumors of wars. We are going to establish ourselves back to the ancient form that we were in before and make sure that we serve our God and we receive his blessing and we carry on and live a happy life like our fathers and our ancestors used to. So the kingdom that I'm building, it's a kingdom that brings back the ancient tradition. And the most scientific of all of our civilization is coming back. Yes. The most ancient and most magnificent of all that we had in the past is coming back in my leadership. Let me tell you what my leadership is all about. Okay? My leadership is that I'm not a weeping eye. I'm not a crying eye. I'm not a wailing man. I need the strength to stop my enemy from doing the bad things that he wants to do to me. So if one of my children is killed by the enemy, like it happened in the United States with George Floyd. He was killed by the enemy in a war between the races. So the people are thinking that, no, we are the United States of America, we the people. We the people, well, the enemies fighting against you. We the people, you think you're one? No, you're not. There is war in the United States of America, and they killed one of my children, called George Floyd, for example. They killed many others before. We were defeated because our children were killed. So at the funeral, I can't even sing any songs. At the funeral of these children, I cannot sing a song because there is no song in my spirit. There was one preacher from the United States, and he had a sermon that was entitled, "Why Does a Cage Bird Sing?" What kind of melody will be made up in the mouth of a bird that is caught up in a cage? And the preacher went on to say that if I try to sing every time I try it, my tongue has a habit of clinging to the roof of my mouth, and I cannot sing. So what is my proposition? My proposition is that those who killed my children in the United States, or could be anywhere in the world, they should have been prevented from doing so. It's not about whether I will revenge or whether I will talk to the governments in a democratic way and say, can we all get together and become one nation? I'm not looking for this. I am looking for methods where I have such power that no one can touch my children. I do not have to wrestle with that person. I should have power, tremendous power, that makes the enemy fail to touch my children. I want the enemy to cry in madness and insanity and say to me, I have a gun and I was about to kill your child. And when I try to shoot, my gun doesn't work when it comes to killing your child. But if I use the same gun for someone else, my gun begins to work. If I shoot at a goat or I shoot at another person who is not your son or who is not your child, my gun is working. But when it comes to killing an Israelite child, I don't know what's going on. My gun doesn't work. There is no fire that comes out of my gun. Only water is discharged. So because of the things that have happened to me and the power of the father of these children that prevented me with his power from killing his children, I am now beginning to lose my mind. Wow. So this is the greatest winning of the battle. This is the greatest victory in the world, to make your enemy lose his mind. I want my enemy to be disabled, to be disintegrated, to be disembarked, and to be made helpless when it comes to him killing my children, hurting my children, stabbing my children with a knife. He should fail and not understand why he's failing to do these things. This is the kind of power that I want. So I'm not singing any songs at the funeral of George Floyd because I want him. I had wanted that him not to have been killed. So I don't understand. I feel defeated because he's been killed. Then I should have done something that will make people, that will prevent the people from killing him. So I am lamenting that I didn't stop them from killing him. I didn't have such tremendous power that will make those men lose their strength and become helpless when it comes to killing George Floyd. So I'm defeated. So I'm not singing songs. Some people say, well, he has gone to heaven. Well, he may have gone to heaven or gone anywhere else. So what? He's gone. I don't want him to be killed by these people. They must be stopped from killing him. This is my proposition. So anyone who doesn't speak along these lines is not answering my question. Stop these people from killing your children. So if they want to kill your children, they fail. And they don't know why they're failing to do so, and they lose their minds. That's what I want. This is what I call victory in a war. My grandfather Solomon, he had tremendous power from the God I was talking to you about. The God that is consulted in the shrine, not the God that you close your eyes and imagine. He had flock animals, domesticated animals. And these animals were grazing in the wild, in the pastures. He did not make a special camp for them to graze with a fence around it. No, to fence it so that they could only graze in this particular camp because there will be a fence that will prevent the predators from getting in. No, he used certain power that would protect his animals, the power that the enemy does not even imagine having, something equivalent to. He will let them go to the pastures. He will do what he has to do to engage his energies, which are very powerful. Nobody will steal his animal. No wolf will kill the animal. No lion will kill his animals. They will be protected until they come back in the evening to the goat shed to sleep. So, if the people ask Solomon, what are you going to do if someone stole one of your goats? Will you revenge so that nobody will ever do that to your goat again? Then he will say, well, I will prevent him from trying to steal it. You see, first and foremost. So the man is trying to steal the goat of Solomon. Solomon's goat finds that he cannot do it because Solomon has engaged certain powers, certain supernatural forces from this God that I'm telling you about from the shrine, who gives him extraordinary power that his goats will not be touched by either a thief or an animal that kills these as its prey, a wolf or a lion or anything. So the question is, why would Solomon be worried about attacking the people that are stealing his goats? What he will do to a man who steals his things? What he will do to a man who attacks his children? Solomon is not occupied about this. The man punishes himself. The enemy punishes himself. So no one can take Solomon to a court of law and say, you used your forces to make me fail to kill your children. That's why I'm going out as a lunatic. I become a lunatic because when I try to kill your children, I don't know what prevents me. When I try to use that computer to put in the data of the people that I'm going to kill, one of your children, and I put in the data, the computer is not working because you disabled it with your powers. And I cannot use it. It doesn't work for me. Things are not working. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? Is it my fault? What is going on? Is there anything that is working against me? These are the questions that the enemies of Solomon are asking themselves because they are failing to destroy him. You see. So they will go insane. If they go insane because they cannot kill Solomon's children, or maybe they just die of heart attack or something, is there any policeman that can come in and say to Solomon, I take you to jail or to court because you use your powers to make other people restless when they try to kill your children. No. An offense against who? It's not an offense against Solomon. So the people are going crazy because they're trying to kill Solomon's children, and they become insane because they don't understand why they cannot do it. This is the kind of leadership that I'm bringing to Lemba, Better Israel people. And other nations could even copy this for themselves. We don't play games. If your enemy wants to destroy your children, you must prevent him. Yeah, you must stop him from doing that. You must stop a man from doing the barbaric things he wants to do to you. So your business is not to change him, make him a good man because he's been a bad man, and try to see how you can transform him. No, it's not your job. He can decide to be a bad man or a good man. But if he's a bad man, he decided to be a bad man, and he wants to do bad things to you, you will stop him. It's not your business whether he's good or bad. He can be whatever he wants. You stop him. Yes. Stop him. Yeah. From doing the things that he shouldn't do to you. Yeah. This is what it is all about. Yeah. Okay. Now, for example, another example of the same kind of philosophy and the same kind of strategy. A long time ago, some few Dutch people, a little bit crazy group, went to South Africa. They went to what we call South Africa today, because it was not called those things before. Yes. It was a land of different nations and different kingdoms. Yes. What is called South Africa right now. Yes. I don't know what that means, South Africa. What is that? What kind of a name is that? Which ancestor is this? Called South Africa. South Africa. What is that? Sounds like a direction or what? Cardinal points or whatever. I don't know. Compass or what? Listen. They came to what is now called South Africa. And they did not even represent the Queen of the Netherlands or Holland in their mission. No, they were just a crazy group of people. They say, we are going to that land and we're going to take it because we think that God has given us this land, and all those people that we find in there, we'll have to get them out because it's not their gift. It is our gift from God. God has given us this land. So if we find someone in it, we remove him or we mistreat him because this is our gift from God. So why should they be staying in it? Yes. So when they did that, they were aggressive and they took the land by force and destroyed the people and enslaved the people that belonged there originally and native people of the land. They used all military power and all sorts of things to destroy the people there and enslave the people in their own native land. One day the people got stronger. They were not like those ancient ones that were weaker than that. They know how to use the computer today in South Africa. They are very advanced, just like anywhere in the world. So they are supposed to stand up and then for their rights and say, whoever does not belong here should not be here. Yeah. Okay. So they committed crimes, atrocities. Those few group of people that came out of Holland, they're just a crazy group of people. That's not the whole of Holland. They don't represent the feeling of anyone in that country. No, they were just a small group of people with an ideology, a little crazy ideology that we're going to go to another land and occupy it and mistreat the people there and say this is the gift from God. And now South Africans got stronger, the majority of black South Africans. These people have committed atrocities. South Africans are very angry. Long time ago in history came some people who were so bad to us. See, they don't have the power that I've just mentioned now to prevent them from getting in to do that. What? They don't have this thing I'm speaking about. Because they would have said, no, if you are bad, no, you have no place here. If you're good, yes, maybe we could be your friend. But if you're a bad man, we stop you. No problem. First of all, we need to find out what kind of a man you are. So after a while, they allowed them, and it's like they're giving up and they're becoming what you call a nation. Now they're becoming a republic. Now they lose their identity. All right. Now, after they have lost their identity to become Republic of South Africa, they are not Zulu anymore, which is the real identity of some people. They are Zulu. There's a Zulu nation with a Zulu king and a Zulu language, for example. There is a Xhosa nation with a Xhosa king with a Xhosa language, for example. There is a Venda people with a Venda language, with a Venda king and a Venda culture, for example, in that so-called South Africa. There is Lemba people, my people living in South Africa that migrated there a long time ago, and they live in South Africa. They are Lemba nation, not South Africa. We don't know who South Africa is. And then, after this, they said to all these people, the Zulu kingdom, the Zulu nation, the Xhosa nation, the Venda nation, the Tsonga nation, the Sotho nation, that you are not those things. Those things are a cause of division. So your identity is a divisive element. You are South Africa Republic. So South Africa is the nation, you are tribes, and those tribes are troublesome. They are dividing you. They say this. So the identity is now insulted, and now a fabrication called Republic of South Africa has been put in here. Hey, and this republic is saying that those who came here to slaughter our people, to kill our people, to destroy our people are okay because it's a democratic South Africa. Oh, in democracy, I can destroy you, and then I come back and say we are one and the same. We are a rainbow nation. So I don't get punished for this. I don't lose my place in South Africa for my crimes. No, I still live there. I've killed black people. I have slaughtered their children. And they came to my farm. I thought they were monkeys, and I killed them. They took some of the children, they killed them, and they fed them to lions. A man like that deserves to live in South Africa? No, he doesn't deserve to live there. So when they took over, they should have just said to that man who did those things, look, you have no place in our land because you're a bad man. Not to say, oh, we are reconciliation, we are making friends with you. No. Their crimes disqualify them from living in South Africa. That's what it is. First of all, they were not prevented from living there because they were bad people. They said that they came to occupy, to take and to kill those who belong there and to control them and to enslave them. No one says stop. Or even if they wanted to stop them, they didn't have the power that I've been speaking about right now, or the power to stop the evil man from doing his thing. So even after they had become a little stronger nation in the world of the United Nations, of the Commonwealth, or all this sort of things, they still could not get rid of the people who have destroyed their people. They still make friends with them. They are marching in the street protesting that the bad man should become a good man. Is it their business that someone wants to be bad or good? Is it their business? Their business is to stop him. Yes. As soon as they come in, or Nelson Mandela comes out, he should say to them, get out of here. Yeah, that's what he should say to them. Yes. He did not do that. Big mistake. He should have said, because of your crimes, not because of me, not because of my opinion, not because of my suggestion, not because of my ideas, as because of the crimes that you did with your own hands. You do not deserve to live on this land. You have disqualified yourself. So go your way and sin more and more and more. It's not my business that you become a bad people. Go and do your bad things somewhere else. That's what Nelson Mandela should have said. I wish I was there. I would say, do you have problems with doing this? Can I help you? You know, just to make a little speech on national television. Look here, the apartheid regime has no place here. Get out of my country. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. So, now as I have outlined with live examples, with true examples of what happened to someone, so you will understand from the start, those who do wrong to you must be prevented. Even without any shed of blood at all. No, no attacking someone with a knife. No. Just use the powers and the energies that I have just mentioned. If you can go back to your origin, to yourself, to where you came from, to the God that you prayed to before the missionaries came to deceive you, the God in the shrine who is consulted, a physical God, not this imagination that the religions have given you, and get the power that I've been speaking about to prevent evil from doing as it pleases to you by the power of your God, which the enemy does not have. Yes. The one who sent a star to lead the Lemba out of Yemen to the Zanzi, to Sofala, from there to Chiramba, to Makove, to Vangona, to Zata. This is King Binyam Selamun. Thank you very much. I'll see you in another discourse, in another video, talking about the greatness of our culture and where we stand today and what we should do today to save ourselves from the evils of the world and the evils from whatever direction they come from. Salam salam to all of you.